So, good evening guys again. Welcome back to this series of most important questions and prediction series for 2024 prelims. So, as if you have seen our previous lectures on polity as well as history, we have started history as well with polity. So, you might be knowing that we have completed till I think constitutional body. Yesterday we completed, in the last class we completed constitutional bodies. Now we will see the remaining portion in today's class, that is local bodies and some emergency provisions. Okay. So let us start. So as you know, in local bodies we get local bodies from one of the DPSPs, direct to principles, from one of the Gandhian principles. Okay, Article 40, village panchayats, he says there should be village panchayats. So from there we have got inspiration for local bodies, and our constitution has implemented local bodies in it was not in the original constitution, they were implemented by constitutional amendments. So what were the constitutional amendments? 73rd constitutional amendment, which is for panchayats, and 74th is for municipalities. Okay, so these were done, and then we got our local bodies. So part 9 suggests, part 9 is for panchayats, part 9a, this is for municipalities. Part 9b was again added, this is related to cooperatives. Okay, so we will not dwell much into this, we will look into only local bodies. Part 11, schedule, now we are talking about schedules. Schedule 11 gives us list of subjects which need to be delegated from the state to local bodies. So in 11 the list which contains is of panchayat subjects, and part 12 is for municipality subjects. Okay, so these are the subjects which are to be delegated by state to the lower local bodies. So in some states it has done, in some state it is yet to be done, it is in progress. So let us move on to next part, local bodies. Okay, so the local bodies, before the commencement of 73rd and 74th constitutional amendment, there were few commissions were set up to check whether there is actual need of the local bodies. If yes, then how the local bodies are to be managed or are to be put into practice. So first committee which mentioned the local body was Balwant Rai Mehta committee. This was the first committee who talks about democratic decentralization. So he talks about democratic decentralization. Okay, so we are actually moving from 2-tier government to 3-tier government, right? Union, state and local. So that is democratic decentralization. Then he talks about a 3-tier governance within the local bodies. Okay, so he suggested 3-tier governance within the local bodies. We will see what are the 3 tiers. Then he suggested that the village level chairman shall be elected by, village level members shall be elected by directly, and other 2 levels election should be indirect. Okay, and he also said that the collector of the district should be the Jilla Parishad, Jilla Panchayat, CEO. So what are the three tiers? First is Gram Panchayat, then intermediate level, in somewhere it is called as Panchayat Samiti. Okay, Panchayat Samiti, and the upper layer is, or the 3rd tier is Jilla Parishad. Okay, we will check them once more when we look into the actual premise. Next comes Ashok Mehta committee. Ashok Mehta committee talks about, now since Balwant Rai Mehta committee talks about 3-tier, Ashok Mehta committee gave recommendation for 2-tier in local bodies once, and then he talks about constitutional recognition. He was the first one to talk about constitutional recognition to the local bodies. Further, he went on to say that these elections local body election shall be dealt with political party symbols, means political party participation should be there. This was his recommendation, but you know, generally local body elections are not based on political parties, they are independent of the political parties, but still we can assume that which member is from which political party, that is that can be assumed. Okay, so two-tier constitutional recognition and political participation, that was the major things from Ashok Mehta committee. Then we come to next committee, Hanumanta Rao committee, GVK Rao committee. The next important committee is LM Singhvi committee. He talks about no political participation. He says no political participation. Okay, and he also talks about three-tier. No political participation is the main thing that LM Singhvi talks about. Another commission was Thungon commission. The main thing that he did was regarding, he asked for state finance commission. State finance commission. Okay, so you know, state finance commission is implemented same as the what you call the union finance commission. So state finance commission, it also has chairman plus members appointed by governor, and their eligibility etc. is determined by the state by law according to various states. Okay, so what are the functions of state finance commission? First is horizontal devolution, first is vertical devolution, means distribution of funds between state and the local bodies. Then horizontal devolution, horizontal distribution, this means among the local bodies, how the distribution is done among the local bodies. Third, finance commission also has the duty, state finance commission also has the duty to suggest the state which part of taxes, which heads of the taxes can be given to the local bodies. Okay, so transfer of taxation powers, some taxation powers to the local bodies. Then grant in aid criteria for the local bodies. This is one more thing, and further whatever the governor says. Okay, so this is also state finance commission. This can be called as a constitutional body, it is mentioned in constitution. So this was the recommendation by Thungon committee. Then the next one is Gadgil committee. Gadgil committee's main recommendation is state election commissioner. Okay, state election commissioner. So this is the, means these are not the only thing that they provided in their commission. No, there were other things also, but most of the things were common. Three-tier, then constitutional recommendation, then SC/ST reservation, women reservation. Okay, so those things are common. Okay, so in Ashok Mehta committee, one more thing that we need to understand is that he talks about SC/ST reservation also. Okay, he also talks about SC/ST reservation. So that was missing. Gadgil committee talks about state election commissioner. Now what is the state election commissioner? Similarly to the state election commissioner, he is equivalent to election commissioner of India in state. Okay, so but he only responsible for local body elections. Okay, local body means both panchayat as well as municipalities. So state election commissioner is appointed by governor. Governor appoints him, but he is removed as per High Court judge. Okay, he will be removed as per High Court judge. Now how High Court judge is removed? He is removed same way as the Supreme Court judge. So we know the process of Supreme Court judge removal, that's the same process can be followed for state election commissioner. So if in your prelims examination, if a statement comes that state election commissioner is removed as per Supreme Court judge, so that will be a wrong statement, though factually it is right statement, but what the constitution says, he is removed as per High Court judge. Okay, so in a way indirectly he can be removed as per Supreme Court judge always, but what is written in constitution, removed as per High Court judge. Okay, so that is one thing regarding state election commissioner. not much, the duties are similar to the election commissioner. Okay, we'll move forward. So we'll talk about panchayat first. So panchayat, I have already told you, there are 3 tiers. Now how the panchayat works, for example, so there are 3 tiers. First tier is gram panchayat, next is panchayat samiti, and the top tier is Jilla Parishad. The names might be changing with states. Okay, so these are the 3 tiers. Now these are the 3 tiers. Now the chairperson and the members. We'll talk about the members and the chairperson. First we'll talk about the members. All the members of these three levels are elected by direct election. Okay, so members are elected by direct election, and chairpersons in these two, that is Panchayat Samiti and Jilla Parishad, tier 2 and tier 3, these are elected in here. Chairman is elected by indirect election. Okay, indirectly among themselves they elect the chairperson. But in Gram Panchayat, what the constitution says, that chairperson here will be elected as per state by law. So state will decide how he will be elected, state by law. So state may say that he can be elected by direct election from the people itself, or indirect election as the upper two. So if a person goes to vote here, okay, if a person A goes to vote here, how many votes he will cast? He will cast for, first vote will cast for Gram Panchayat, then he will cast another vote for a member of Panchayat Samiti, then he will cast another vote for a member of Jilla Parishad. And if the state bylaw says that the chairperson of Gram Panchayat has also to be elected directly, then he will also cast one vote for Gram Panchayat chairman. So at a time he will cast 4 votes. Of course, if all the elections are simultaneously declared. So he will, at the same time, he need to cast 4 votes. Condition is that the chairperson in state, by the state parliament has said that, state legislature has said that the chairperson of Gram Panchayat should be elected directly by the people. Okay, in that case, person will vote 4 times: members of Panchayat, members of Samiti, members of Parishad, plus chairman of Gram Panchayat. So this system is, we will call it as one above other. Okay, but this case will change in, I will go in municipalities, that there will see what is the change. So these are the members and the chairman. So you know, chairman and the members. There are some certain reservations for members and chairmen. Reservations for members. What is the reservations? Members reservation is that there shall be SC/ST reservation according to their population. According to population, there shall be SC/ST reservation. Then women reservation should be 1/3 of the members. Women should be 1/3 of the members, including SC/ST. It shall be 1/3. Chairperson reservation, again SC/ST in proportion of population, while women, SC/ST women all in proportion of population, but women shall be at least 1/3. This is the condition. Women chairperson shall be at least 1/3. Okay. So this is the reservation clause. Now reservation can also be given to OBCs. OBC reservations can also be given, but this depends upon the state. That is state by law. So if state by law decides to give reservation to OBCs in whatever manner, it can be given by the state. So these are the few things regarding reservation. Duration, as we all know, duration is fixed for 5 years unless state government dissolves it. And whenever, for example, if the panchayat has completed 3 years and it is dissolved, then the new panchayat will set up and run for only remainder of 2 years. Okay, and then again new election will happen. So only for the remainder time the new panchayat will be elected if it is dissolved earlier. Finances. So what are the source of finances for panchayat? So first one is, of course, devolution by the state. Devolution by state. State will give from its consolidated fund whatever the taxes and etc. Then then state can assign taxes. State can assign taxes to panchayats. So state will also try to assign few of the tax heads to the panchayat so that they can directly apply those taxes and get the revenue. But generally this thing is not done by the states. Okay, they try to keep every tax related provisions with themselves. Then grant in aid by the states, and if special project is there, then also money can be granted. So these are the few things from where fund can be generated. Okay, now we have already talked about State Finance Commission, State Finance Commission, State Election Commissioner. We have already seen. Then so State Finance, State Election Commissioner, I have already told you about State Election Commissioner. Election Commissioner appointed by the governor and removed by the president. Means as per High Court judge, appointed by governor, removed as per High Court judge, and he will be responsible for the election of panchayats. Service, tenure, condition, etc., salary, etc., all will be determined by the state government, by the governor itself. State Finance Commission, I have already told you, chairman plus members shall be in every interval of 5 years will be appointed by the governor, and the eligibility for those members shall be determined by the state government. Okay? And the duties, I have mentioned that duties are vertical devolution between state and the local bodies, then horizontal devolution among the local bodies, then granting rate criteria, then what taxes need to be assigned to the local bodies, that is also one of the advice that will be given by State Finance Commission, and whatever the governor says. Okay, so those are the things. So State Finance and Election Commission, the description will be same for municipalities as well as panchayats. Application to the union territories. Now these panchayats, I am talking about part 9 only, panchayats, not municipalities. These are applicable to UTs after certain modification done by the president. These are applicable to UTs. Where they are not applicable is under scheduled areas and tribal areas. Means scheduled areas means schedule 5, tribal areas means schedule 6. These are generally not directly applicable, to scheduled areas. Okay. Now in schedule 5 areas, they can be implemented through a special act of parliament called as, we call it as PESA Act. Okay. Panchayat and Scheduled Areas Act. So PESA Act is related to schedule 5 area. What is its nodal? Okay, we'll try to mention it separately. So PESA Act, Panchayat Extension in Scheduled Areas Act. PESA Act, this is for Schedule 5 areas. Schedule 5 areas. So currently there are 10 states, you will know regarding Schedule 5. We will see Schedule 5 in the miscellaneous class. PESA Act, Schedule 5 areas. The nodal ministry is Ministry of Panchayat, Ministry of Panchayati Raj. And the PESA Act was implemented based on a commission called as Bhuria Commission. Okay, based on Bhuria Commission. So what does this act says? This act says that panchayats, local bodies can be implemented in schedule 5 areas, but the state legislature, whatever state laws that are applied here shall be in accordance with the local traditions, customary laws, religious practices, etc. Okay, so local traditions, I will say local traditions, customary laws, etc. Second, Gram Sabha here. I have not talked about Gram Sabha here. Gram Sabha means, what is Gram Sabha? Gram Sabha means all the members who are eligible to elect, all the electors in the village will come together and form a Gram Sabha. That is a Gram Sabha. So Gram Sabha has more powers here in this PESA Act. Gram Sabha will approve all the plans of the state, approve plans for development, they will approve all the funding, then various for example any project has to be implemented in here, then Gram Sabha's approval will be required, okay, and it is compulsory approval, okay, for utilization of fund, etc. Then approval required for extracting of minor minerals also. So these are the approvals required. Now what are the members and the chairperson? Now here also there will be members and chairpersons in the local bodies, so their reservation is different. So reservation in under PESA Act will be all the chairpersons shall be from ST category, okay, and members 50% of members shall be ST. So this is the new condition in PESA Act. The we call it as the reservation condition is new here. All chairpersons shall be ST and 50% of the members shall be ST. So this is the PESA Act, okay. Then we will come to municipalities. Again, municipalities also has 3 tiers. 3 tiers here is different than the 3 tiers of panchayat. So in panchayat we saw it was one above the other, okay. Here it is one after the other, okay. Let us see. So if first block, then second block, then third block. So first we will see the first tier is Nagar Parishad. Next is Municipal Council, and further is Municipal Corporation, okay. So these are the 3 tiers. Now here members, we will talk about members first. Members and chairpersons. Now this Nagar Parishad, Municipal Corporation, Councils and Corporation, these are divided into number of wards. These are wards. Number of wards. Number of wards. Now election of these ward members is also the members and chairperson of the Parishad, chairperson of the council and the corporation. How are they selected? So members, all the members are elected by direct election, same as the panchayat. Members by direct election. Chairpersons in all the 3 levels are to be determined by, means their election is to be determined by state by law, okay. So chairpersons in all the 3 levels, all 3 levels will be determined by state by law. State will suggest in what manner the chairperson shall be elected. Now if you say a person goes for voting in this case, so what he will do? He will either vote in Parishad or council or corporation, not all 3. This is not one above another. This system is called one after another. So if we say municipal council, for example, a person goes for voting in municipal council, he will vote for the member 1, and if the state says that the chairperson is also elected by, should also be elected by directly by the members, directly by the people, then he again cast 1 vote for the chairperson. If not, then he only cast one vote for the member. Similarly, if a person is going into Parishad for voting, he will cast 1 vote for the member and 1 for chairperson if the state by law says so, and similarly corporation. So hardly person will go and cast maximum 2 votes or 1 vote, okay. So it is not the case like panchayat. So this is one after another. Then comes reservation. Reservation is same as we have seen in panchayats. SC/ST reservation according to population, women reservation 1/3. This is regarding members. Chairpersons again SC/ST women reservation according to their population. Duration same, finances same, state election commissioner, finance commission, this is all same. Application to union territories, scheduled tribe area. Now application to UTs again same. It is applicable to UT, yes. applicable to UT after some modification of precedent, but schedule and tribal areas not applicable. Okay, not applicable straight away. There is no PESA kind of thing here. So this is regarding municipalities. So we will try to do some questions here. With reference to Panchayati Raj institutions, which of the following committees was constituted earliest? So as we have already seen, the earliest committees among the given is the list that I have given you earlier. For example, this list is in chronological order. Okay, so this was the first committee, then Ashok Mehta, then Hanumanta Rao, GVK Rao, LM Singhvi, Thungon, Gadgil. This is the sequence. Okay, I have not mentioned it in arbitrary manner. This is actually the chronological sequence. So the first thing is that what was the first committee? Balwant Rai committee, but among the options it is Ashok Mehta committee. Gram Sabha. It is the body consisting of persons registered in electoral rolls of panchayats at village level. Yes, this is actual definition of Gram Sabha. The recommendations of Gram Sabha shall be mandatory for granting prospect of licensing for minor minerals in every panchayat. Okay, so the sentence here is recommendation of Gram Sabha shall be mandatory for granting prospects of license for minor minerals. Up to this statement is correct. But in every panchayat, no, only those panchayats which fall under PESA category. Okay, only those panchayats, not in every panchayat. So this is wrong, this is right. Under PESA Act 1996, it is responsible for the identification of beneficiaries under the poverty alleviation and other programs. So who is responsible? Gram Sabha. Gram Sabha is responsible for identification of beneficiaries and poverty alleviation. This is also correct. So two statements are correct. Municipal corporations. So municipal corporations are created for administration of big cities like Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, etc. Okay, we will say it's okay because yes, it is for administration of big cities, but not only for big cities. So if it has written only for big cities, then so for now this sentence is correct. There is a common act for all municipal corporation in a state. Okay, municipal corporation has three authorities, namely council, standing committee, and the commissioner. So we have not seen municipal corporation. We will quickly see it. So municipal corporation can be set up, is established by state law. Okay, state by law in states and by union law in union territories. Okay, so state law will establish a municipal corporation. So for example, in Maharashtra, Nagpur Municipal Corporation, Pune Municipal Corporation, Mumbai Municipal Corporation, Aurangabad Municipal Corporation, these are various municipal corporations are there. So every municipal corporation can be enacted by a separate state law, or all the municipal corporation can be enacted by a single state law. Both conditions are possible here. Okay, so established by state law, either according to each corporation or combinedly for every corporation, the state law. Okay, further in this case there are three authorities here. Which are the three authorities? First one is municipal corporation has three authorities. First authority is the council, which is headed by the mayor. Generally, mayor has limited executive power. He is a nominal head. Okay, members and its head is mayor. It's a nominal head. Second authority is standing committee. In Marathi we will call it as स्थायी committee, स्थायी सदस्यांची समिती. ठीक है. So council, mayor, standing committee chairman, the members and its chairman. Now this chairman has executive powers. All the executive powers are with standing committee chairmen. Third is municipal commissioner. Municipal commissioner, generally an IAS officer. He will be responsible for implementation of all the decisions taken by the standing committee. Okay. So basically he is the chief executive authority of the corporation. So these are the 3 tiers of the corporation, and how the corporation is being set up we have seen. So what is the question here? Municipal corporations are created for administration of big cities like Mumbai, Pune, Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata. Okay, there is a common act for all the municipal corporations in a state. Not necessarily. Okay, there can be different also. This is wrong statement. Municipal corporation has 3 authorities, namely council, standing committee, and the commissioner. Okay, this is also correct. 2 correct. A person is eligible for contesting the elections to panchayats and municipalities only after she has attained the age of 25 years. Okay, yeah, this is one more thing that we have not talked about. So the members, eligibility for the members to be elected in the municipal, in any of the local bodies, be it panchayat or municipal, the eligible criteria is, of course, citizen of India and 21 years of age. 21 years of age, this is the eligibility criteria, not 25. 25 is for Lok Sabha. So person is eligible for condition to the panchayats, municipalities only after he or she attained the age of 21, not 25. This is wrong statement. 1/3 of the total number of seats to be filled by the direct elections must be reserved for the women. Yes, this is the condition. State legislature may provide for reservation in favor of backward classes. This is also correct condition. We have seen it. So 2 statements are correct. Extension to schedule areas. So this is for the PESA Act. It extends the provisions of Part 9 of the Constitution relating to the panchayats to schedule areas under 5th schedule. Correct statement. The prior recommendation of Gram Sabha or the panchayats is mandatory for grant of concession of exploration of all the minerals by the auction. Not all the minerals, only minor minerals. Okay, only minor minerals. So this is wrong. Recommendation is required only for minor minerals. 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act. The 3-tier structure was envisaged in the form of Gram Panchayat, Mandal and Jilla Panchayat. Yes, correct. I have told you that these names can be different, but Gram Panchayat, Mandal can be called as Samiti, and Jilla Panchayat. This is right. All states have to mandatorily consider all the 3 tiers irrespective of their size and population. Okay, so this is one more condition that we have not talked regarding is, now there are three tiers: Gram Panchayat, Panchayat Samiti and Jilla Parishad. Now if a state has population of less than 20 lakh population, then you can skip the Panchayat Samiti. The intermediary stage can be skipped altogether. So all states have need to mandatorily constitute all the 3 tiers? No. The role and functions of Gram Sabha would be decided by Union Ministry of Rural Development. No, this is not defined by Union Ministry of Rural Development. It is decided by Ministry of Panchayati Raj. Or rather by the state government. 74th Amendment Act. The Gram Sabha would consist of all the persons registered as voters in a village panchayat area. Of course, its powers and functions are clearly defined in the Constitution? No, these are not clearly defined. It takes decision through direct participation of all voters in the village panchayat area. Yes, so 2 statements are correct. Consider the following statements. Every panchayat shall have term of 5 years from the date of appointment of its first meeting. Of course, in case of dissolution of panchayat, the newly elected panchayat shall be continued only for the remainder period. Yes, this is the new thing which is not available in state legislature or union parliament. So this is also correct. Consider the following statements. The superintendent's direction, control of all the election to the panchayat is vested in State Election Commissioner. This is the duty of State Election Commission. The State Election Commissioner is appointed and removed by the governor. No, he is just appointed, not removed by the president. The conditions of service tenure of State Election Commissioner is determined by the Union Parliament? No, again by the state government. So only first statement is correct. Again, the question on PESA. This act extended provision of Part 9 of the Constitution to Schedule 5 and Schedule 6. No, not the Schedule 6 area, only Schedule 5 areas. This act empowers the Gram Sabha for planning and management of minor water bodies. Yes. The urban areas are classified into Nagar Panchayat, Municipal Council and Municipal Corporations. Of course, the classification of urban areas shall be done by the governor. Yes, governor does the classification of this area based on the population of the area, based on number of people employed in non-agricultural operations. Okay. And the classification of urban areas is based solely on density of population? No. I have already told you there are few other conditions also. For example, people employed in non-agricultural field. Then municipal council is a transition area. So we have seen this is Nagar Parishad, this is municipal council, and this is municipal corporation. So what shall be the transition area? Transition means transition from rural to urban. So if this is the thing, Gram Panchayat, Panchayat Samiti and Jilla Parishad, now this will transition into Nagar Parishad. So the transition area from rural to urban is not municipal council, it is the first one, that is the Nagar Parishad. So fourth is wrong. So already seen, fourth is wrong. Classification based solely on density, this is also wrong. Classification of urban shall be done by governor. Yes, this is also correct. Okay. So what are the commissions for local water reforms? I have told you Balwant Rai Commission, LM Singhvi Commission, Hanuman Rao Commission, Gadgil Commission, not the Panchi Commission. Panchi Commission is not related to local bodies. It is related to governor mainly. So 4. Okay. So far we have completed our local body things also. So you just go through the local body part of your constitution, Article 243. It's a long act, as you all know. Okay, one more thing regarding local body is that, for example, there is given definition of metropolitan area defined in the constitution. Metropolitan area which is defined in constitution. How it is defined? It is defined as per 3 categories. Okay, first one is it has to have population of more than 10 lakh, 1 million. Okay, then it should cover at least one or more districts, and further it should have at least two or more panchayats or municipalities. Okay, and last one is specified by the governor. It shall be specified by governor. So these are the 4 conditions for area to be called as metropolitan area. Population more than 10 lakh, density should be 1 or district should be at least 1 or more than 1, and at least 2 or more panchayats or 2 or more municipalities are specified by the governor. So this is one more thing regarding the local bodies. Okay, so that's all. So we'll take a break for 5-10 minutes and we'll come back. Thank you.